There are 5 options behind Andre Dillard, one of them that will not be available to you for 3 more weeks, or 3 more games, I should say, in suspended tackle and Nicholas Petit-Frere. But behind Andre Dillard, who's allowed 6 sacks and 16 pressures, a season-long pace of 34 sacks and 91 pressures. Does he get any slack, guys, considering he's gone up against a Bosa and a Garrett so far this year?
Does he get any slack? My answer is always no. I'm going to preface all of this conversation by saying this too. And this has always been my motto and my stilo and what I've kind of lived by. I never feel sympathy for first-rounders at all, not even a little bit. You're given a platform, and it's on you to take advantage of whatever comes your way. Is it your fault you're a first-rounder? No. Maybe the scouting department should have did a little bit better. Maybe if Philly didn't pick Dillard, he may be a second or third-rounder. Don't matter. My mindset is this, and I may take you into the mindset of how I was as a player and how I thrive, or how I tried to thrive for 11 years is this. Everybody's dealt cards, right? It's on you on how you play them. It's on you on how you respond to a bad hand. It's on you to change that deck at some point in time, too. So considering the platform first-rounders are given, I think that's also a reason why he was given the contract that he was. Is that his fault? No. He started at a higher floor opposed to others, okay? With that being said, if they saw you as a first-round talent, that talent's somewhere inside. It's on you to get out of your own way sometimes as players at all levels. I'm talking about high schoolers all the way up to pros. It's on you to maximize the talent that's given to you and to say, you know what, this is a messed up situation, but I'm going to make the most out of it. Yep. I.e. Joe Thomas. Cleveland sucked for decades, over a decade with him. Heck, he might have had 2 winning seasons, but he made the most out of it. I have no sympathy for guys that can't figure it out if you're not trying to seek it. And I'm not talking about talking to the opposing defender. I'm talking about watching film, breaking down your deficiencies. Again, you become a pro because you're consistently good at something. Mm-hmm. You become an even better pro by minimizing your deficiencies. That's something that he has to do on film to himself, man to a man, and taking more reps in practice and trying to figure out how do I stop these bull rushes. The guys behind him, Will, did you name them off already? I was thinking and thought.
I wanted to answer this question first from both of you on whether or not he gets any slack.
So to finish that answer up, I almost got sidetracked. No, he doesn't.
Kayla?
So, obviously you look at the guys he's gone one-on-one with, right? They're top caliber. I was just looking here after week 2, most pressures. Obviously, you see Myles Garrett, he's right on this list. He's going to face another one in Trey Hendrickson, according to PFF, most pressures so far this year. But look, when it comes down to it, this is a guy who, like Ramon said, was drafted in the first round. It did not work out for him in Philadelphia. My first thing I'm going to do as somebody who has overcome adversity in my own career is I'm going to put that chip on my shoulder and I'm going to go to wherever I'm going to next. I'm going to be like, all right, you didn't like me there? Didn't work there? Okay, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to get mean. I'm going to get some dog in me because the dog is what starts to come out. That's how I feel like you can push yourself and keep pushing yourself. And I don't know if I've seen that here yet out of him. Like, I don't think I've seen still that dog come out that's you just got whooped by Myles Garrett. He has to come out this week, guys. I don't care who he's going up against and show something. Because there's no excuses in this league. You are a professional getting paid a lot of money. And at some point, you either fix it or it's not going to work out.
Facts.
And I think that's the biggest thing. You got to dig for that dog. And I don't care if you're a player, you're a person in your career who's trying to go to the next level. If you don't find that in you, it's not going to work.
Doggy-dog world. You get ate up. You either fit in with the wolves or get treated like a sheep.
And we talked about it, too, that Andre Dillard, when you hear him speak in the locker room, doesn't come across like a typical left tackle. I would imagine he comes across more as an interior lineman, Ramon, and you could speak to that being one that isn't really a loud voice, isn't necessarily a fiery personality. You don't have to be a fiery personality to be good at football. But when you talk about putting a chip on your shoulder and motivating yourself for a, unfortunate ending for him in Philly, we haven't seen that from him at all. And if he does have that chip on his shoulder, he has not shown us that on the field or off the field publicly whatsoever.
So essentially what you're saying is this: the personality of a person that plays that position has to have a whole lot of spunk about it.
I don't think it has to, but I think we need to see it from him specifically right now,
especially on the field,
given his circumstances.
And I'll give you a situation of what you're talking about. And Bert, of course, has insight on this too. Orlando Brown Jr. He left essentially the Ravens because he said, "I want to be a left tackle." That is the premier spot, depending on what arm your quarterback throws with. If you got a left-handed guy like Tua, you want to be the right tackle. That's his blind side. But the premier spot to be paid at and want to be is the left tackle. I wanted to be the left tackle. You know what I'm saying? Showing capabilities of doing that. That is a side that you protect the quarterback's blind side. Orlando Brown wanted that to be his spot, so much so that he forced his way out of Baltimore. And now he's the starting left tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals, just to correlate it. So, yes, you do need to see those things come into play whenever you have a guy like that. Say what you want to about Taylor, but he understood the role of being the boss hog, right?
Sure.
So it is cool to be that guy. And it also comes with a whole lot of pressure. There's other guys in this league, too, that's gone against really good rushers in their first 3 weeks in the NFL, too. There's a guy, of course, I can correlate it to Pittsburgh, in a sense, Dan Moore, who's been up against the wall a little bit, too. His first few weeks, San Francisco with Bosa. Cleveland with Miles. He got no sacks, no pressure. I mean, he got pressures, but nothing. And then last week, of course, the rusher with the Raiders on Monday Night Football.
Max Crosby. So everybody's got the tall task of handling these premier rushers. So, again, you ask that first question, do I feel sorry for him? No. Never as a first-rounder either. You have 5 guys with experience at tackle, 6 if you include Daniel Brunskill. But for the sake of this conversation, Brunskill's your right guard. So these 5 players, guys, at left tackle, Dylan Radins, Peter Skoronski, Nicholas Petit-Frere in 3 weeks, Jalen Duncan, the rookie out of Maryland, and Justin Murray, the guy who was elevated to the active roster yesterday. Let's take out the suspension for a minute for Nicholas Petit-Frere and just say, out of those 5 options for this season, who is the best backup plan for the Titans at left tackle, in your opinion?
Best backup plan? In my opinion, it would have to be Justin Murray, probably.
Really? That surprises me.
Because of the experience there. If we're talking about an immediate input into him, yes.
So why him instead of Peter Skoronski?
Instead of Peter Skoronski, because Skoronski right now is my left guard. And I know what you're saying. Kick him out and keep Dylan Radins at left guard also. And I like the way that sounds, but there's also a lot of moving pieces going into play. I'd rather go Justin Murray just because you keep 4 of the 5 the same, essentially, when Peter comes back. Now, if Justin's bad, all right, then we start making those type of moves. This scenario that you're speaking of would be a November situation. To where, okay, we kick the tires on everything moving forward. Now we understand that Peter may be our left tackle for the future, and we're okay with keeping Dylan Radins at left guard.
I don't think anything will change until they get MPF back, guys, because I think MPF is the answer.
Really?
At left tackle.
Okay.
I think they originally kind of looked at him as being that when they brought him in as the next kind of thing after Taylor Lewan, and then Taylor got hurt so early on, and that all played out the way it was supposed to. And then he just ended up being the guy competing with Dylan Radins at right tackle last year. I think they expected Dylan Radins to win the right tackle position last year, and instead it was MPF. So MPF has kind of been put in that position as like the right tackle. Look, he played his junior year, a great year at Ohio State, as the left tackle. He's bounced back between right and left during his time at Ohio State. I think if it gets that bad and you want to start to shuffle, I really do think NPF would be a good solution there, because why couldn't you just keep Chris Hubbard? I think he's done an okay job, right?
And that's always going to be the conversation, too, is what do you do with Hub? Now, if Hub continues to play as well and Dillard is Dillard is still bad, that is a best plan to move NPF coming in. Hey, you can't practice with us, but you should start working on your left tackle positions, your left tackle sets, and you deal with whatever comes out of that. If you're out on Andre Dillard at that point, because you said leave the suspension guy out of it.
Right.
That's honest. That honestly may be the best contingency plan moving forward if Hub picks up his play and plays well too over there. Because why would you move Hub? Is my only question.
Yeah.
I think the contingency plan is the guy who was last year's contingency plan for Dennis Daly. It's Dylan Radins. I think Dylan Radins is your left tackle if Andre Dillard can't get it done.
Yeah.
Who would I want it to be? I have no issue with the arm length for Peter Skronsky.
Me either.
But I think you've got to understand that then there is a larger learning curve for him. How much do you stunt his growth long term if you switch him away from the interior offensive line spot? But think back last year when Dylan Radins got hurt, he was making a start at tackle in replace of Dennis Daly.
Yes.
Right.
Why not do the same exact thing for a guy who I think Mike Vrabel's impressed with? I think a guy that Mike Vrabel respects. Mike Vrabel is very big on trust and what you do with it once you earn it.
Mm-hmm.
And Radins is the guy that they've gone to in a pinch multiple times, obviously at left guard the past 2 weeks, like in San Francisco on Thursday Night Football a couple of years ago. I never thought 2 years ago that I would be petitioning for Dylan Radins to be a left tackle, but I think he's the swing guy in this offensive line room. And I think Nicholas Petit-Frere, while his on-field play didn't lose him trust with the coaching staff, I say this with no knowledge of what's going on behind the scenes, simply putting 2 and 2 together. I think Nicholas Petit-Frere is going to have to earn trust back for getting suspended, for not being available for the first 6 games of the season. I think he's got a burden of proof to come back and prove that he's in shape and ready to go. Titans already know that Dylan Radins is in shape and ready for going into that spot. I genuinely believe, guys, that if Andre Dillard starts off this Sunday's game like he did against Cleveland, I think we're seeing a new left tackle in the second half of this game.
I mean, let's not act like it didn't happen with Dylan Radis and also Xavier Newman.
Same exact thing.
You know, especially if it's one
They're
thing.
just paying him. That's the difference, right?
Absolutely. And it's
Dillard.
one thing in general when it comes down to, okay, I just got beat. But if we're missing assignments, which Xavier Newman looked like he was doing, and you just straight up getting pushed backwards and you're not on the same page as your left tackle, yeah, I see that being the case. What I will say is this, though. Watching Dylan Radins play and how he's come back now has been fascinating. He looks like a pro's pro now.
Yeah.
Just in his demeanor
His
more
attitude.
than almost anything. Yes.
Yeah.
And does he have the poise to do it? It's yet to be seen at left tackle. Again, that's such a hot spot. It's a landmine right now at left tackle. Anybody that moves over there is going to be tested. And that's what you're really running into. With the NFL, you got 3 weeks to get that film, get bad film off your tape.
Sure.
And that's yet to happen. With 3 weeks and there's been bad tape consistently. No matter who they move over there, people are going to be salivating to go after it, whether it's Peter, specifically him because he's a rookie. Then, of course, I hated the headline because I'm with you earlier, Will. You said that the short arms don't mean a whole lot. The thing that protects you at left tackle is what we're seeing not happen at left tackle right now. It's your feet, your lower half. Watch, I would tell you, watch Trent Williams. He's not doing much with his hands. Everything he's doing is with his legs to get
His
into
stance.
position.
Yeah.
And if that's stopping the bull rush, he does it. If it's getting to a point to cut off the rusher's lane, he's doing that. It's not about his arms. Now, is there a position where somebody can swipe it? Yeah. I saw guys get their hands swiped all the time with long arms. It doesn't matter in that. DeJuan Jones got his swiped last weekend. But guess what happens? You can recover because of your feet. The biggest issue that's happening right now with Andre Dillard, to me, is his feet.
Well, he said it.
Yeah.
He said it in that interview after the game.
Yeah, so
One of the things he need to improve.
So it's frustrating
Yeah.
that you have that level of athletic ability. I would tell anybody I was above the line athlete. Above the line. It had to have been the reason because I played at that level. But to understand there are different levels of athleticism, he has that other level.
Sure.
Whether it's a mental block that he can't unlock to go to his lower body, that's where the issue is. And over these years and through training camp, how can you not fix it if you know it's a problem? And that's why I say I have no sympathy. That's a him problem. Bro, get over it. Everybody's going to get beat, but you can't ooze to a finish when it comes down to you being a franchise left tackle. That's unacceptable to me.
The one guy we didn't mention in this is Jalen Duncan, rookie out of Maryland. How far is he from being a potential starter in this league?
From what I know and saw and just understand about him, he needs a little bit more technique refinement, and he just honestly just needs to, and I say grow up as a pro, not grow up as he's immature. He's just got to grow up as a pro. He hadn't had enough reps to justify him being the first option there, in my opinion. Now, I say that he's going to be the first one in on Sunday if something goes wrong.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think he's been active the entire time he's been here. This, to me, seems to be a red shirt year for him.
Yep.
To grow and become a better pro. I'm not speaking on his immaturity or nothing like that. I'm talking about his lack of being a pro.
Well, we all know the physical attributes he has. I think the biggest thing at Maryland that we go back to why he dropped was that dog mentality. I'm serious. That's
Yeah.
what the knock was. Like, he didn't have that. And I didn't see a ton of it during training camp. I just felt like he's a guy who's learning at the next level. So I feel like he's a year out at least, but
Yeah.
he's also got to find that.
He does. But he's athletic.
Well, yeah, that's
Very.
sure.
Yep.
Because if Andre Dillard in this scenario is similar to the way he was in Philly, Jalen Duncan, you would hope, is your Jordan Mailata,
Yeah.
a day
for
3
real.
pick at left tackle who ends up just taking over the spot from Dillard. But
Yeah.
obviously, Jordan Mailatas don't grow on trees.
No, they do not.
Very unique.
They do not grow on trees.
Nope.
They're crafted in a lab.
And I think,
Right.
too, for the people out there, and I've seen a little bit of this in the F&M Bank chat on, well, Dillard's making a lot of money, right? He's got a guaranteed deal, $13 million guarantee, turns 28 next month. It's a $7.5 million cap hit if they were to let him go at the end of this season. Yes, $29 million is a lot of money, but not at the left tackle position.
No, that's a bargain.
To me, yes, they're paying him guaranteed money, and he's not cheap, but that's a premium position in this league, and I don't think that keeps him completely safe from being benched. I mean, J.C. Jackson is making a king's ransom for the Chargers, and he was inactive this past weekend for L.A. at the cornerback position.
A healthy scratch.
Like that's insane to me.
He was a healthy scratch?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He was
Yeah.
inactive. I know. Well, we talked about it when we scouted the Chargers, how bad he's been.
Yeah.
And then he was a healthy scratch
Not
for the
a good
Chargers. So, I mean,
situation.
obviously he's been there longer than Dillard's been here, but the $29 million, you get a little bit of sticker shock with that. And I don't think that is a reason not to bench him,
So
in my opinion.
For instance, we're speaking about that real quick, how much of a bargain that is, and this is not comparing one to the other. Trent Williams is getting 23 average on his. I think Orlando Brown got 30.5 this year. So when you sign an offensive tackle, left tackle for $10 million a year, that is a middle of the road, hey, go prove it deal. And you can't be mad at a player for getting what the market suggests. If the market suggests he was supposed to get 3 for $30, then you pay him 3 for $30. Because if you didn't, somebody else would be, and that's still a bargain when it boils down. If the highest paid, I think, left tackle in the league per money wise is Laramie Tunsil.
Okay.
Heck, I think his deal was a 3-year, $75 million deal.
Yeah, he got paid. Bruce in the F&M Bank chat says, thank goodness 104.5 The Zone hired VFL Big Ragu Foster. Analytics of the game are priceless, as well as an 11-year NFL career. Awesome perspective. Thank you, Bruce.
I just get some stuff about ball. I can't tell you everything about the
He
secondary.
did play.
But I know this, though. I'll tell you that much.
Eric in the chat also adds, maybe just swap Dillard and Radens until
No.
Skronsky gets back.
They're not going to do that, though. I'm just being realistic, you
No.
guys. They're not going to do that.
Can't do that one.
Dillard is insistent on being a left
Yeah,
tackle.
they're not going to do that.